do some awards for the 49ers.
Okay.
Well, how do you want to do this? For the league or for the Niners?
Oh, Niners. Yeah, just for the Niners.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What awards
All
are
right,
we
you
doing?
take it through it. You take us through it.
Let's start with a negative award. Let's start with a negative. The rest are positive. The negative
Okay.
award, though, is worst offseason move by the 49ers. Let me get your take on that one.
Worst offseason move by the 49ers. Letting Jimmy Ward go?
That's a bad one. They could be using him right now.
They could be using him right now, especially at safety. They could have him at safety right now. What do you think?
I think that's a bad one. Yeah, I think they could have won another game or so if they had Jimmy Ward. They could have probably sealed this deal two games ago with Jimmy Ward. Yeah, that was on my list of things. I gave Kyle Shanahan a plan in the offseason of what he needs to do to win the Super Bowl, and that was on my list. Keep Jimmy Ward. For me, though, it's the Dallas Cowboys have an undrafted kicker that's 35 for 35 right now. He's perfect. And the 49ers could have got him and got DeJuan Jones, who's a great right tackle right now already for the Browns.
Good call.
That was the worst offseason move. They could have already had that done. And I wanted them to draft DeJuan Jones. And now, no disrespect to Moody. He's 14 for 14, under 40 yards. He's 6 for 9, over 40 yards. So he's done well. You know, he probably could have won them a game had he made that. This isn't what I'm saying right now, isn't really a knock on Moody or saying that he's not a good kicker or can't be a really good kicker. That's not the point of this. It's the value that you missed out on, that you spent on a kicker in the third round and 2 tight ends we haven't seen yet. You didn't need to do that.
They could have just taken him instead of Cam Latu. They could have had both.
Yes, they could have Moody and DeJuan Jones instead of Cam Latu. Yeah,
yeah.
And maybe Cam's going to be great, but yeah,
I'll take Moody over Cam.
Yeah, and I would take DeJuan Jones over both those.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right now too,
a quality offensive tackle. Yeah.
Could you imagine because I watched Colton McKivitz yesterday, dude. I spent two drives. Let me just focus on Colton McKivitz for these 2 drives. I did that. It wasn't good, man. Like he doesn't.
All you can say when you watch Colton McKivitz is, well, at least I'm not paying him much.
Right. I tweeted out. I'm like the best you get from Cohn McKivitz is he's kind of in the way of those guys. Kind of momentarily. He's not moving anybody. No. Could have had DeJuan Jones, which would have made this team even stronger, even more capable of winning the Super Bowl. And then next year they could have prioritized on Trent Williams replacement or a center for Brindell. So that was a big offseason mistake. If we're going negative at all in the show, that's the one I have. So what about the best offseason move, Grant?
Well, signing Hargrave has been an excellent move for them, but also like signing John Feliciano has been a nice move too.
Yes,
because they're not great at adding offensive linemen, and he's played really well at both guard spots, and he could play center if they need him to.
Yeah, Twin had one on my show this morning. I asked him that same question, and he said trading Trey Lance, which I thought was interesting. I think that's probably true. Because Brock Purdy's healthy, so it's good to get that distraction out of the building because it would have been a distraction. But if something would have happened to Brock Purdy and we had to roll with Sam Darnold throughout the season, then I don't know if that would have been a good move. But that's what he said. What do you think about that one?
I can see it, although something could have happened to Brock. I don't think Sam Darnold's good at all. So they kind of got lucky on that one. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, and then I know there's going to be a lot of people watch this and comment that Darnold beat out Trey Lance. He did not. He did not. For people that were there, he did not. I think they just wanted to get rid of him as a distraction.
And
it paid off because Brock Purdy's been healthy. So I think that's – all right, next award, man, Defensive Player of the Year. Who do you got for the 49ers?
It's a tough one. And you can make an argument for a lot of guys. Like you could say Bosa, but he didn't do much the first half of the year. Right. You could say Fred Warner. He's kind of fallen off the last few weeks.
He's had a few bad games.
Throughout
the year?
He sure has.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has.
Mm-hmm.
Fred.
Yeah, Fred. We know what you
Fred.
did too, Fred. We know.
We know what you
Brandon,
did.
we know what's going on, Fred.
And
We
don't act
saw.
like we don't know.
Yeah.
You know who's come on really strong recently?
Yeah.
Travarius Ward.
That's my pick.
Does he have 5 picks this year?
Yes, that's my pick. That's my defensive
All of a sudden,
player.
he's playing like an all-pro cornerback. He said he would, and now he is. He kind of got embarrassed against the Vikings when he dropped that pick that was right to him and turned into a touchdown. But since then, he's been great. Ever since I kind of challenged him.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you all spell his name right. But Charvarius Ward is, to me, the defensive player of the year for the 49ers. He's been essentially locked down over there. He's been really consistent. He's leading. He's also a leader amongst his in the DB room. I got to give it to Charvarius, man. He stood out the most, and he's earning his money. You know, it's not always often that you got guys making big dollars that are earning it, and he is.
Dude, he has 5 picks and 23 pass breakups. Like he's having crazy.
He leads the NFL in pass breakups.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to say him. And he's actually really cool. He's the kind of guy in the locker room you can go up to whenever and talk to him. He talks to Tracy Sandler all the time because Tracy Sandler knows that he's available. And he's funny. Like I was in the locker room the other day and my pants were sagging, which I try not to do anymore because I'm almost 36 and I'm trying to be professional, but I was. And he walked by me without even missing a beat. He was like, "Oh man, that man's sagging. You thugging, huh?" And just like laughed at me. Look at this white boy.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I don't know.
Dude, I'm 44 and I don't sag like I did in high school, but like I can't wear my pants on my hips. Like I don't know.
Do that.
It just feels.
There's got to be like at least
weird.
2 inches of sag.
Just a little bit. I can't have it like on my hips. That's crazy.
But it can't be under your butt either. That's just a bad look.
No, that's ridiculous. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And I assure you, I wasn't dressed that way.
Yeah, Charvarius, man. I know how to spell your name, buddy. Hit me up. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you. Yeah, but Charvarius gets deep boy, man.
Yeah.
What about? Let me throw in a curveball on this one. I didn't tell you about this one, but what about most underrated player on the 49ers?
Don't say Brock Purdy. Everyone makes it seem like he's so underrated. Like, no, he's not underrated.
No,
not anymore. Most underrated player on the 49ers. Diamador Lenoir's in the running.
It's true.
He's quite good. I'd say Dre Greenlaw, but he kind of brings it on himself with all the 15-yard penalties, which he hasn't had in a while. Yeah.
I got 2.
Lenoir.
Lenoir's a good one. I'm going to go on defense, Gibson. On offense, Juwan Jennings. Yeah, I think Gibson has been not really consistent outside of a few penalties this year. He's had a couple games where he had a couple penalties that were costly, but other than that, he goes under the radar and does his job and does really well. I don't believe he's allowed a passing touchdown his entire time with the 49ers. I'm pretty sure that's true, which is crazy to think about, and nobody talks about it. It's kind of weird. And then Juwan Jennings, I think they definitely missed him against the Ravens. His run blocking ability, his toughness, the way he gets under the defense's skin, his clutchness on third down. I got to give it to those guys for that award.
I like it. Those are good ones. Right. Okay, underrated. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, last one. I had 2 different ones, but I'm going to put them all together because I think it's an easier conversation. If you have to, like, there's offensive player of the year and there's MVP. It's kind of hard to figure out which is which. But if I don't know, you can divide them into 2 different awards. How do you want to cover it? I want to take the easy way out, but go ahead.
I'm going to be a jerk about this.
Okay.
Offensive player of the year for the Niners? Ayuk. I think he deserves some recognition for this season. He didn't get the volume that Christian McCaffrey got, but leading the league in yards per catch, 1,300 yards on 100 targets. I think he had a phenomenal year. I think he's absolutely a top 5 wide receiver in the league. Absolutely a top 5 wide receiver in the league. And I think he had a top 5 season among wide receivers. He just didn't get the ball as much as he could have because McCaffrey gets it so much. So I'm going to say Ayuk just to be a jerk.
Hey, I like it, man. I like BA has been one of my favorite offensive players. I don't have him in this. I think he's on this next tier for me just because of the other guys that are on the team and the importance of the quarterback position. But I would link To me, I can't do it. I'm gonna take the easy way out. It's Trent Williams, CMC, Brock Purdy. Those three guys deserve to share the Offensive Player of the Year and MVP award to me. Like they have a hand in all of it. And I don't think Trent gets enough credit for it because Trent makes Brock Purdy better. He makes CMC better. If you take Trent, Brock, and CMC out of this equation, this team's not clicking the way it is right now. But BA is a good. I mean, BA, Debo, Kittle, they all are right there. But to me, that's the three-headed monster that I want to make sure is healthy.
Okay. So I'm not okay. MVP. I put Ayuk as the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So for MVP, I'm going Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
And not Brock. Because to me, again, I said Ayuk is a top 5 wide receiver in the league. McCaffrey's the best running back in the league. He's the number 1 running back in the league. He had a special season. He led the league in carries, rushing yards, touches, yards from scrimmage, and touchdowns from scrimmage. That is a pristine A+ season from an A+ running back. He deserves the MVP. Brock is having an A+ season too, but he's not the best quarterback in the league, and he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's a top 10 quarterback for sure, who's having an excellent season in doses. They don't throw the ball that much. And when they do, sometimes bad things have happened. Jesse Naylor put out that stat. You kind of want to keep him under 27 attempts. So Christian McCaffrey is the engine of the offense. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch the Baltimore game. Tell me what happened when they tried to make it Brock.
I like Jesse a lot. I love Jesse, actually. I
don't like Jesse at all.
I'm in love with Jesse. Here's the thing, though. The thing about that stat that he put out, where I just take a little issue with, is because the stat was basically like, if Brock throws this many times, then this happens. But usually the reason why he's throwing that many times is because they're already losing. The reason why he's throwing under those many times is because they're already winning. So I think that kind of skews that statistic a little bit. And so I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with that as the full analyzation of him. Like yesterday, for example, he was on pace to throw 36 times in that game yesterday. What did he finish with? 27?
Something like that. Yeah.
First half, he had 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been the trend all year. Like they come out, they pass pretty good, fair amount, and then they end up running the ball because the game's over. So
yeah.
Here's another one I want to ask you: it's
hard to give an MVP to a guy who is -4 in the turnover margin in a game? Not just 4 turnovers, but -4. No touchdowns to offset that. It's hard. People don't forget.
Yeah. It was a bad game. It was definitely a bad game. It was a bad game.
Yeah.
Here's another one I want to give credit to a guy for. So one more award, just throw you just one more in there. Most improved.
I'm not gonna say Purdy. I feel like he was doing this last year. He is improved, but I think, oh man, is Ayuk improved, or is he just not playing with Jimmy Garoppolo anymore?
Ayuk has been solid. I think he is improved. I wouldn't say most improved.
Lenore is up there. Lenore is very, very much improved. Travarius Ward is very improved. Those 2 corners.
One more.
Ambry.
That's the guy.
Ambry is not the worst player on the team anymore. He's actually decent.
When I said that one, that's who I had in my head.
Yeah.
Let me drink this because I'm going to
drink that. Drink that.
I think Ambry Thomas is most improved.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, those are the answers. Those are the answers.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I think those are the answers. Yeah. Purdy has improved a little bit. Ayuk has definitely improved.
Ayuk's been steadily improving, constantly.
Yeah.
Better.
Didn't take a huge jump, but just another little one.
Yeah. It's got to be Ambry. He went from almost not being on this roster.
That's it. And that's a testament to Steve Wilkes coming in and really getting the most out of these DBs with some talent.
Yeah.
Coaches
Shout out to Ambry. Yeah.
Shout out to Ambry. All right.
Ambry is easy to spell. So Ambry.
Yeah.